Hi folks. Yeah, I was just speaking to God about a few of the things that were happening last night, a few of the other things. And what also seems evident, is that you get this thing where in a time when God really isn't moving, when there's no real evidence of God moving, there's no healings, there's no deliverance, not really, not in a big scale. You might have people praying for stuff. Maybe God's speaking to a minister and giving the minister a word on somebody. But even then, is there power to deal with that? No. Well, because Neil Silverberg prayed for a young lady. And I saw that young lady just the other day and said, has that been dealt with? She said no. I wasn't overly surprised. Okay. No worries. Don't worry about it. It will get dealt with. But I wasn't surprised because, for many, many reasons, God isn't doing that sort of stuff. And it hasn't been for a long time. So, okay. But what we seem to see, rather than focusing on that and trying to deal with that and understand why that isn't working so we can fix that, to have that, they focus on little things where it looks like God could have done something, and instead of saying, well, God could have done that, oh, God did that. Yeah, praise the Lord, he did that. It was God could have done that, but praise the Lord, God did that. What? Oh. Yeah. These things are a distraction. They're a distraction taking you away from the fact that in the big areas we're not seeing God work. We're not seeing revival. We're not seeing deliverances. We're not seeing healings. We're not seeing people being set free. But that doesn't matter because we're getting little things, little victories here. Even though they're not necessarily little victories at all. There might not be God doing anything at all. Might not be. Yeah. But even in my situation, when I said quite clearly, God might be doing something, he might not, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. We're going to have to see. But for me, I've said it all along. I want God to do something that's going to be incredible because I want people to know it's him and not just think, some will think it's a coincidence, some will think it's him, some will just think it's a system doing what it should have been doing in the first place. Because that is the reality, isn't it? Because, sometimes the system isn't quite functioning, and then when it starts to function and does its job, we say that's God. But that's only because we are so in need of seeing God doing something. And therefore, those things are a distraction. Because we're not seeking God. We're not... What we need to do, put it this way, if I was going from my understanding as a Christian, then I'd say, okay, what we need to do, we need to spend time with God. We need to have services where we're just listening to seek from God. What does he want to tell us? How do we fix this thing that's broken? Instead, what people are doing is saying, well, it's not completely broken because we've got little lovely bits over here and little lovely bits over there. Which is, are they really little lovely bits? Or are you just assigning praise to God where it was just, things got sorted? Yeah. Well, I've said before, the problem is we praise God for things that God didn't do, and we take blame ourselves for things that God wanted to happen. Because anything negative or anything perceived as negative, that can't be God, that's got to be us. And anything positive that happens, it must be God. What are you talking about? What? A government agency finally gets its act together. Well, that's God. They're supposed to do that. They're supposed to do their job. Trains arrive on time. Well, they're supposed to. Yeah, the airport has an issue. They solve it. That's what their job is, to solve it. Yeah. All in all, yeah. But you want to assign all these things to God and say this was God doing it. It may very well be. Some of them may very well be. I can't say none of them were God for certainty. I wouldn't say that because it's possible that maybe, yeah. But I think there's too much of a desire to see God doing. Now I understand that because at the moment, even in my life, do I want God to do stuff? Yeah, of course. Tons of bloody stuff. Am I seeing any of it? No, not right now. So do I want to see God do stuff? Yes, of course. But, yeah. In the end, I think I'm still a realistic person. Yeah, to the core, I think I'm still a very realistic person. I hope so, because not being so is not healthy, I don't think. Well, as I say, I think it certainly is. It's so important that if there's a problem that you recognise there's a problem so you can deal with it. But if you keep on being distracted by things over here and over there, then, yeah, the problem will never get sorted. And so, yeah. So I really do think it's the case that the church at the moment needs, I don't know, it needs to understand where it is. I think that's key. That's one of the key things. It needs to understand exactly where it is. It needs God to take the rose-tinted glasses off for the people and for them to see just exactly what state they're in. Because they need to cry out to God. They're not going to cry out to God, truly cry out to God, unless they understand what state they're in. That's the reality. I mean, that's going to be an incredibly important thing that needs to happen. But all the while you think that all these nice things happen over there, over there, over there, over there, over there. Yeah. That's making those rose-tinted glasses even more rosy-tinted, isn't it, really? Yeah. You're not seeing the reality. And sometimes seeing the reality is important. If we're not hearing from God and we're not receiving from God, then understanding what reality we're in and where we are compared to where we need to be is really important. Because then we understand we have to cry out to God. Then we understand what it is. Well, as I say, I had that situation years ago where as a very, very young Christian, I was having this lustful dream and woke up, wanted to get back to a dream, and suddenly God took his presence away from me. And I was in complete utter darkness, absolute darkness. I understood what was going on. Right, okay, I know what happened. I know why it happened. Yet, this was before mobile phones, so I had to run out and phone a friend, then a Gil, and get him to pray for me at that moment. And as soon as he prayed for me, the presence came back. I had to understand. If I didn't understand the situation, I would have just gone back to bed. Next day, I would have still been without God's presence. If I still hadn't understood, I could have gone 20 years without his presence. I could have died in that situation. And when I thought that, hold it, I went forward in the meeting, I gave my life to God, I would have still gone to hell because I'd have been not in his presence. So I would have stopped repenting, I would have stopped doing all that stuff. Yeah, but thankfully to God, I understood the situation I was in and what I needed to do to fix it. And as I said before, the area I was in was quite rough, especially on weekends. You have a lot of fights, and I just went out to the phone box and phoned. I didn't care if some drunk tried to have a go at me or anything, because I knew that didn't matter. What mattered is I got that presence back. I got that sorted. I was right with God. That's what matters. Yeah. And that's why The church needs to understand where they are. As a collective, as a whole, rather than just one little individual. But I've been praying that God will do that for 5 years now. So, yeah. Yeah. What's going to happen, how it's going to happen, that's his business. And that's in his hands, so we will see what he does. Certainly there's a need. And there's a need for something radical to happen. And because we want radical change, if we want radical change, we have to change radically. If we're going to do that quickly, then it's going to be done in a way where we're face to face with our reality. So there you go. You take care, God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Hope you have a wonderful week. And yeah, enjoy. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.